SONJ athletes, my name is Mia. I'm currently a dietetic intern from Cedar Crest College working with Amelia. Today I'd like to present to you 3 mindfulness tips that you can take into consideration when you're eating. So mindfulness eating is a concept where we are able to become more aware of the sensations we're feeling when we're eating food. We can recognize different cues of being hungry and full, and we're able to discover how we can be satisfied through the foods that we eat, both emotionally and physically. So the first mindfulness tip is to honor one's hunger. Honoring your hunger is actually a principle of intuitive eating, which is a framework of how one can eat in a way that honors their health and allows them to be free from having any food rules or restricting food or having any type of diet mentality of foods being good or bad. It's a framework to help cultivate a better relationship with food and your body, which is a wonderful way to find food freedom and to be able to just have a better relationship with food. So with the first tip of honoring our hunger, this is something where we are really going to be paying attention to when we are hungry and making sure that we're getting the food we need when we are hungry. So sometimes this may look like noticing that our stomach's growling after we haven't eaten for 5-6 hours, and being able to take the time to stop and make ourselves a little snack or even a meal if we're really able to have the time to do so. And when you can honor your hunger, it really is helpful and just better to help make your body able to have the energy that it needs. And when we have the energy that we need as athletes, we're able to perform better and to be more focused with the sports we may be playing or the activities we may be involved in. Hunger is something to be aware of and to recognize, and it isn't something to be concerned about or to feel negatively towards. Our bodies need energy through food, and the way that we get it is by feeding ourselves and nourishing ourselves with the foods that make us feel good. So the second mindfulness tip that I have for you today is also an intuitive eating principle. It is called feel your fullness. So unlike honoring your hunger, feel your fullness is when you're able to recognize when you are beginning to get full from the food you're eating or maybe the meal you sat down to eat. At this point, when we're able to feel our fullness, we are able to stop eating and to recognize that our bodies have gotten enough energy in us and that we are full. Sometimes what happens when we're not paying attention to when we are eating, we may tend to overeat, and then our stomachs might not feel so great afterwards because we have overfed ourselves and we've eaten in excess, and it doesn't make us feel so great. So when we're able to feel our fullness, it's a way that we can cultivate a greater sense of awareness as to how much our bodies need in terms of energy and how we can provide enough energy for ourselves without providing too much energy. So the third mindfulness tip for today is discover the satisfaction factor. I think that this one is a very, very important tip because it's a way for us to get in touch with our food more and to recognize the foods that we enjoy eating. Food is meant to be enjoyed, and of course there are all these different healthful benefits of eating certain foods that are good for you and healthy. But something that's really important to also recognize is that food is meant to be enjoyed, and when we can feed ourselves food that tastes good and is good for us, it will really, really create that positive satisfaction discovery, and being able to enjoy our foods will just create a more positive environment around eating. So when we discover the satisfaction factor, we're able to find the foods that both nourish our bodies, which means providing our bodies the energy it needs to be active and to, do all of the activities we want to do throughout the day, while also being able to sit down to a meal that makes us feel good because it tastes really good. So those are the 3 tips that I have for today. Thank you so much for listening in. And just as we wrap up with this little mindfulness eating tips, I'd like to provide you your code word for today. The code word is ring. Ring is spelled R-I-N-G, ring. So thank you so much for joining me for this little mindfulness tip activity. Don't forget to submit your code word.